The sisters set out to change the world. However, the world refused to change, at least at first. In the wake of the game, life began to return to normal, for a time. When the sky darkened and the stars began to wink out one by one, the sisters' warning of powers outside of humanity's purview were looking to come true. Only the doom that many foresaw never came. Few stood in defense of the world, refusing to allow another to take control of humanity. Friends from beyond the stars and an unknown force. Well, unknown to most. Even after the game, Robert preferred to stay out of the limelight, with power that would rival and even exceed the sisters despite his refusal. The world enjoyed a time of peace. But in the end, Robert's power could only destroy. A useful shield, but the problem of the afterlife was one that both he and the rest of the group sought to fix. Cassandra's cascade never quit, and she would find some form of celebrity after the game. One that she, in turn, used to help bolster humanity's healing. To some degree, it worked. Magic as a whole became commonplace in the new world, with Cassandra and her lover Case at the forefront. The remnants of Tribus would soon join with her, using her power and resources to build on the sisters' previous failures. Cassandra would take a darker path than the sisters, researching that which the sister didn't dare, and building Cassandra's own personal power and prestige, soon retreating into the dreaming plane to create an empire. Some still whisper of dreams of a dark star, the daughter of fate, and the empire she will build. To everyone's surprise, there were a few attempts at a new death game in the sisters' wake. Those that Robert and Yun quickly put a stop to, assuring the world that when that day did come, it would be by mankind's hand alone, not from those seeking power. He would hold ties with the rest of the contestants, silently watching over the group long after, and helping where needed, from the shadows in most cases. Robert would work with Cassandra and the Cascade for some time, occasionally prodding the woman down a brighter path, though never demanding. Despite their difference of opinions, their weekly family dinners were always productive, often finding new and different routes, looking for a way to repair the afterlife. Many methods were found like this, but none of them perfect. Not yet. Robert and Yun-hee spent some time alone with each other after the game, and most would notice the wedding rings in the days to come, but few would comment on them. Yun-hee, for her part, would see the world at Robert's side, ensuring that he never lost his humanity or way, despite the power he inherited. No longer defined by youthful rebellion, Yun evolved into a seasoned and empowered woman. In her free time, Yun-hee dedicated herself to teaching the art of the blade to aspiring young individuals globally. Garnering a reputation for her expertise, she became a sought-after mentor, readily imparting her knowledge to those who showed genuine dedication, often without charge. With no family to speak of, Jason's death went largely unmourned, but when questioned about her remarkable skill, Yun-hee would regale her audience with tales of her mentor, Jason Damascus, the legendary ultimate fencer, whose tutelage shaped her into the master she had become. With her own power, she would spearhead the beginnings of what became known as the Gestalt body, a form of existence without death, tied to the various elements of the world. Margot decided to remain in Seoul, driven by her desire to reconnect with her roots and forge a new path. Determined to honor Dae-hyun's memory, she envisioned creating a gang that would make him proud. As she assumed leadership, Margot emerged as a formidable strategist, renowned for her fiery determination. She sought to transform the streets, striving tirelessly to enact positive change. Hers would be a gang of justice, committed to uplifting the community without resorting to the methods of the past. And of course, Yun-hee, her second in command, would always be welcomed back in Seoul whenever she had the time to pay her best friend a visit. Some even whisper of a red and yellow ranger that aids the group and city when things get out of hand. To everyone's surprise, Harry was the first to find, while not a solution, a spark of hope. Delving into the spiritual plane with his companion Lily, Harry would touch those spirits within, showing them how to escape. Binding their spirits to the material, bodies not unlike Isabel's, though far more stable. Romano would be his first student and one of the first successes, much to his parents' relief. With that, Harry would continue teaching for centuries, funded generously by an anonymous donor. Even centuries later, Harry's students would continue to empty the spiritual plane, slowly growing in power, and in turn, teaching others. Harry spent the vast majority of his twilight years managing the slowly growing endeavor, teaching, and occasionally visiting the others from time to time. After his revival, Romano went back to his normal life. Well, Romano was never much for normal to begin with. However, he managed to live out a peaceful existence with his family. Eventually, with Cassandra's help, he created a reserve of sorts for various supernatural creatures, a place dedicated to the sponsor he barely knew, and to house several dozen rats. As for Olivia, her organization met with tough times. With their original handler and top agent dead, the remaining members, Project Sage, were split off into the various branches of the government, some gaining merciful deaths as suicide mission soldiers on the front lines. However, most would face experimental suffering at the hands of doctors determined to see what made them tick. Experimentation Cassandra would, eventually, continue. In the aftermath of the battle, it was discovered Mono never actually made it to the afterlife. What fate befell the AI is a mystery to all but one, a benefactor that saw his potential and was more than happy to exploit it. Over time, and the span of years turning to decades to centuries, the group discovered their bodies didn't age, nor did they truly die. Ageless and beyond mortality, their bodies, minds, and spirits were one. And centuries after the game, a more permanent solution to mankind's broken afterlife was eventually found, in part due to the cooperation between everyone. Dark magic, a twisting of spirits, and the careful destruction of the space between planes would change the world. Soon, humans of the Earth would be born in new bodies, ones unknown to death. While a true God, one born of humanity's combined will, is soon on its way. And though there's still much work to do, the hope for the future looks bright. And this is how the tale of Killing Royale ends. Robert DeMarchi, Yun-hee Jang, Cassandra Cassidy, Harry Rovies, Romano Rodriguez, Margot Dumas, Jason Damascus, Olivia Kristen, and Mono. They had all one thing in common. They all had the desire to live life to its fullest potential, because, as they say, You only live once.